Hello, everybody, and welcome to Classic Country Backstories. I'm Colleen Gallagher.
And
And
I'm
who are
Jim
you?
Gallagher. I'm Jim Gallagher. Good evening.
We're so happy to be with you guys this evening. I hope you all are doing well and enjoying this weekend, what's left of it. It's Sunday evening here, so we're so tickled. We got a good show for you tonight. Going to talk about all things country music like we always do. But we've got a real special guest with us, and I'm really tickled to have him on the show tonight. He's a really dear friend of ours. We played a lot of music together with him, and him and his brother Kevin and Curtis Lynn Cook. They have a YouTube channel of their own called Heartland Hot Rods. They're also great musicians. But I want to welcome to the program our buddy, Mr. Greg Harned.
Hi, guys.
Hey!
Well, how are we doing tonight?
Well, we're just doing fine. How are you doing?
I can't complain at all. Look at the Christmas tree behind me, right?
I know. That's beautiful. I love your Santa Claus hat. I love your spirit. We've got our Christmas stuff on. Jim has
You do.
red on. So
Red.
Well, he's in the spirit. We're just not
Yeah.
what sure brand it is.
That's right.
It's the Curtis Lynn Cook brand, isn't it?
That's what it looks like.
CLC brand.
That's right. No, we are so glad to have you with us. We've been wanting to have you on for a while and talk with you all things country music, which is what we always do when we get on here. I just wanted to share a little news that's going on out there right now. We just dropped Friday the latest edition of Classic Country Backstories, uh, which it is on traditional. It's called Nashville on Camera, creating a YouTube channel in Music City. So it was kind of a background story, a little bit to let everybody know what happens and how we make a YouTube show and how we film and how we do things. So it was a lot of fun to put together. It ended up being a little bit probably of a commercial for Nashville because we love the town so much, but that's out now and it's doing real well. So if you haven't already seen that, I want everybody to get out and check that out. Check out that episode. It's a lot different from what we typically do. So try to change things up once in a while. See uh, what we can do that's different. So um, also, I want to talk about traditional country music being alive and well. We always worry about it going by the wayside, but I really don't think it will. There's a lot going on, and a big thing is George Strait received a Kennedy Center honor. It was given to him. I think it was yesterday, wasn't it, Jim?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah. Along with of all things, he's in there with Kiss, Michael Crawford, Gloria Gaynor, and Lester Stones. We're so tickled that he was chosen. He is the king of country, so tickled that he was given a Kennedy Center honor. So I think that's a pretty cool thing. Good sign that country music's alive and well. I think. What you guys think?
Oh,
I
yeah.
do. I do too as well. That brings it back around again because George is the king of country music. There's no doubt.
Yeah, he's been around for a long time. It doesn't seem like it, but when I was on the road back in the '80s, I remember when he was out and we were doing his stuff on his songs on the road then. So he's been around for a long time. He doesn't look like it. He looks good, and uh,
He does.
and every time you
Uh,
hear it, he sounds good.
yeah, I got lucky enough to. I actually heard his first album before it was ever released. I was pitching some tunes at a publishing company in Nashville, and come to find out, I was talking to his producer
Oh
that was
wow,
interviewing me, and he said, "You're a lot more traditional." At the time, I actually had hair, and it was long, and I had the chops, and he said, "You walked in, I didn't think you'd be as classic country as you are," and he said, "Man, I've got a kid you got to hear." He goes, "You got to hear this. He's a real deal. He's going to be here for a long time."
wow,
So he put in and played the record for me, which was on tape at the time. It was still not even pressed. And I went, good grief. And sure enough, he was right about that.
Wow. And did he?
Yeah.
And he sounded like George at that point. He was
Oh,
already.
he did. It was unwound. It was, I mean, it was his first
It was the first
CD.
album that hit.
Yeah. So I stopped by the next year. This was, as you know, it's hard to get re-invite to listen to your material in Nashville because there's only a million of us trying to cut the big times. So
Yeah.
I got another interview with him. I went in and sat down and he listened to my stuff and I asked him, I said, hey, how's it, George? Man, you were right about that George Strait cat. He's hot. I said, how's it going? How's the second album going? He said, well, he said, it came down to this. He said, I'm no longer his producer. I said, well, what happened? He said, well, George thought I was going too pop with him.
Oh.
And he said, so we took it to the executives and they looked at me and said, you're out. George is in. So he got in the middle of that album, he got replaced. So, but he actually had some very good, I mean, the first CD and half of the other, and it was some great cuts in there. Just artistic difference, I suppose. But it was really cool to hear that music before it was ever released.
Isn't that a strange thing when you know, I had a few things like that too, where you would kind of have the end of something, but you didn't know what was going to happen with somebody. You may have known somebody was really, really good, but you didn't know where they were. Because there were a lot of people in Nashville when I lived in Nashville that I always thought they're going to go somewhere. They're going to be huge. And then you don't hear anything of them, you know? So talent or lack of doesn't necessarily mean a lot.
Determine, does it? It doesn't really determine. It really doesn't. And, you know, we've known people as well as both of you two are excellent. I just respect you so much for your musical abilities. I want to say that to begin with, but you know, you've been around so many people who are so talented, and you're like, golly, man, I got just great artist or songwriter, singer.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't really mean anything.
No.
In Nashville.
No. There were a lot of people when I lived down there that I saw that I thought would really take off, and you know, and then nothing. But it's like my mom always said, though, you know, in some ways it's not what you know, but it's who you know. And I think that makes a difference. And sometimes there's a little luck that plays in there, you know. So
I think a huge amount of luck is there, but it's also a lot of hard work and sacrifice. It does take a lot of that.
And how much money do you have
behind you?
Yeah, that's true.
Gotta have money.
Well,
you do.
We have a friend down there that right now he's been around forever, and his name's Damon Gray. He plays at the Music City Bar and Grill with the Music City Playboys, and he's my personal favorite singer in Nashville. You know,
wow,
I'll
show
you this.
Yeah,
this is awesome. I think it was cut a few years ago, but we found him a couple of years ago in Nashville, and invited him to do the Vern Gosdin tribute that we did with Max T. Barnes, and phenomenal singer. And I hear him, you know, and I've always said, like, why in the world? Why are you not somewhere bigger than you are? You know, such a sweet guy too, great guy, but great singer. Great. So if you ever have a chance, Music City Bar and Grill. He's usually there on Wednesday nights. I think like 6 to 10. He plays with the Music City Playboys. So he's definitely one to see. But he's one of those guys. I do not understand why he's not in a George Strait position. He just should have been, you know.
It's hard to tell.
I know things go the way they go, and we don't have a lot, you know. Well, look at
Greg Ray's in the house.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Right.
Who's that?
It's a Greg Ray. He says it is Illuminati clique. Most people don't know. You're right about that, Greg.
Yeah, it is. Hi, Greg.
Wow.
That guy's a phenomenal fiddle player, great harmonica player, guitar player.
Yeah, absolutely. Jenny, that's my daughter, Jenny. Damon is great. Yeah, she was with me in Nashville. Actually, when the first time that I ever heard Damon, we were at one of the Next Generation show rehearsals. I was doing some interviews with some people for the podcast, and we afterwards went to the Music City Bar and Grill to eat. It was at the Troubadour. The show was so, and Damon was there. And I remember thinking at that point, my gosh, it's great. Yep, Greg. It has nothing to do with talent. I sometimes you're right about that.
Absolutely right about it.
You just don't know who's going to be somewhere and who's not. It's good to have you on here, Greg. Hope you're doing well. He's a great player.
He is.
Mr. Greg Ray, he's a great player. I also wanted to bring up Raul Malo. Over the weekend, there was a 2-night show at the Ryman Auditorium this past Friday and Saturday, December 5th and 6th. It was called Dance the Night Away, a 35-year musical legacy celebrating the Mavericks and honoring Raul Malo. So, and there were tons of people that performed on the show. Like Jamie Johnson was there,
Oh, wow.
Steve Earle, Wade Hayes, James Otto, just tons of people that came, to pay tribute to him, and I think most people know, but just want to make sure everybody knows, to keep Raul in your prayers. He's currently battling stage 4 colon cancer. He's seeking treatment. There's a GoFundMe out there for him. It's going to help pay for some of the treatments and medical expenses that he's undergoing. So those guys are talented bunch of fellas. And Raul, I love to hear him sing. And we just really, really hope that he is successful with this battle. And he, bless his heart, he's hanging in there and he's fighting with everything he's got. So if you guys out there lift him up in prayer, we sure do appreciate that. And if you have a little extra to give, go to the GoFundMe. I'm sure you can find it out there pretty easy. Going through anything through the Mavericks, I would imagine probably their website's probably got the link, but it's really, really an expensive thing to go through cancer treatment. And it's like somebody had told me at one point, a performer that I won't name, but somebody you think, has quite a bit. But they say you don't know how good your insurance is until you have to use it, and
Yep.
you don't know how much your out-of-pocket expense is going to be until something like that hits. So, we may think that, that they're successful, and they are very successful, but he's got a family, and it would be, it'd be great for anybody that can help kind of support him and help him get through this. So our prayers are definitely with him. So,
That's raw. I just listening to what he's done in his works in his lifetime. They're one of those groups. He's one of those individuals that are so well respected, so well known as an artist, but don't have a catalog of 100 top 10 songs.
No.
But he's so talented.
Yeah, I mean, they have been workers. They've never to my knowledge, ever really taken any time off the road. They record and they work, and there are a handful of those guys that's been around for a long time, and they just keep plugging and going. And they're definitely in that category and such talented musicians. I love it. They can do different types of music. They're fit into the country category, but I know that there is a lot that Raul has done. So
that
what are you
doesn't fit.
smiling about, Mr.
Charlie Collins is in the house.
Oh man, now we got some stars coming in.
Yeah,
We do, Charlie.
not particularly.
Charlie's he's my favorite bass player. He's one of my heroes and one of our good buddies, Mr. Charlie Collins.
He's a legend. He's one of the guys that we talk about. He was should have been born with a bass in his hand when he came out of the womb. You could take a broom neck, put a couple strings on it, put it in a shoebox, and he'd make it sound like a Fender. He's just amazing.
That is true. That's very
He is
true.
he is favorite bass players to play with.
Oh,
Yes.
he's great.
Yeah.
He's got a pocket that just
And I always bring it up because he's so special to me. About 3 years ago, I had an accident where I kinda came in contact with a car and I lost, and so I was down for a while and this happened on, I think, like a Thursday, and we were supposed to play on Saturday, which I was bound and determined I was going, but I was told I couldn't. So,
right.
uh, but Mr. Charlie Collins came in and he played bass for me that night, and I'm so grateful. I love him so much. He knows that. But
He
such a
play
great guy.
he
So
plays his hiney off
he
every night.
does. He does.
He just got it.
Yeah.
He just got it when it comes to bass
We'll just
playing.
have
That's
it.
all there is
Yeah.
to
He just feels it. You feel it, so
it. Yeah.
uh so I also wanted to bring up on this day 51 years ago, She Called Me Baby Baby All Long by Charlie Rich reached the number 1 position on the Billboard Hot Country Singles chart. 51 years ago. Now I don't know about
Oh,
you, but it doesn't seem like it should have been 51 years ago.
uh, that number just shocked me. I've lost track of the last 40, I suppose, because it doesn't seem like it should have ever left the country music charts,
Oh
Seemed like
no.
yesterday.
I know. Well, I love Charlie Rich. I always did. Behind Closed Doors was all awesome. Rolling with the Flow. He was
Oh,
really kind of like a little bit on the R&B side. You know what I mean? He had
he
that kind
was.
of bluesy feel to him. But
Well,
my first
was it?
thought, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. I was going to say, wasn't he a Sun record?
He was, yeah, yeah, he was. But I always remember him being on the wards when John Denver was up
Yeah,
for, was it male
yeah,
vocal? I can't remember. Or
it was
song of the year?
song of the year, wasn't it?
It
Or
may have.
single of the year, or male vocalist. You can probably write about that.
All I know was he lit that paper on fire.
That was
I
great.
think it was great. Yeah, I he was.
I, what year was it? I happened to be watching that live at the time
Oh my
too.
gosh,
I'd have
75,
prob- I'd have probably done the
6.
same thing.
Now I got to look it up.
But I love it, and you can't beat Charlie Rich. I mean, he's one of those artists that could sing anything. I think if he really wanted to. But John Denver was a talent of his own too. I mean, his voice was
Oh,
perfect
yeah,
pitch, and but
yep,
as far as like the funny part about that to me is as far as like classic at the time it was just country music, traditional or classic country music. Neither one really fit that bill,
no,
right?
no, yeah, you're
So
right.
you, so one of them was mad because he didn't get the award, but he really wasn't like Charlie Pride country anyway. So
Yes,
anyway, it's
that's
funny how we view ourselves. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
well. I looked it up. It was 1975. That
Wow.
is when it happened. So, and I'm not sure what the award was, but it just said John Denver's. Charlie Rich sets fire to John Denver's CMA slip. So that was pretty awesome.
It was quite the scene. That was really his demise, though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he kind of dropped off of things after that, and I hated that because I love to hear him sing and play. He
Oh
was
man,
such a talented guy.
yeah.
That something else.
Well, that's it. So 51 years ago, "You Call Me Baby Baby" was
Hmm.
number one.
Number 1 on Billboard's Hot Country
Wow,
Singles chart. Isn't that something?
that is.
It doesn't seem possible, but it is. Time goes fast, that's for sure. So,
It does.
Jim, what do you have?
Well, I've got a I got a funny story to share with you all.
Right.
Recently, Jimmy Buffett was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and he kind of crashed his own party. I'll bring this screen up here and show you. Says he crashed his own party at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame with a little bit of help from his friends. Kenny Chesney and Mac McAnally and James Taylor did a little tribute to him, but what they didn't know was that Mac McAnally had some of Jimmy's ashes in his coat pocket in a small urn. And Kenny Chesney kind of let the cat out of the bag on the Howard Stern show in a recent chat. So I thought that was kind of humorous that he crashed his own party.
That's funny.
I kind of find it, like I said, it might have been a little odd that you carry your friend's ashes around with you.
Yeah.
Not real sure that, I mean.
You're having a little trouble letting go, I think, there.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
He did real well. What's that?
He's one of those guys I wish we could have met him. I think he would have been Duke.
Yeah, I agree with you. You could tell his personality. He just would talk. He would just talk to you.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I think so. I think if you met him on the street, you'd have a conversation with him. He would have been. Yeah. He was great talent and such a great performer. I mean, his band, the way he set things up, it was just fabulous. When you went there, you were gonna have a good time. You knew you were gonna go. So I
agree 100%. Jimmy Buffett.
Yeah.
And he had the following though, and he had $1 for everybody that ever followed him too. He did really well in life.
Yeah, he did. Well, and it's crazy because then he kind of had the resurge, with Alan Jackson, with 5 o'clock somewhere. Not like he hadn't done all of these great things and already had this huge career.
Yeah.
But I remember seeing an interview with him and then being shocked, like that people, like he was relevant, like people wanted to see him all over again. There were new crowds on top of all the parrot heads, people that followed him all these years.
They won Song of the Year for that particular song at the CMAs. And when Buffett got up to the acceptance speech, he said, "I want to thank Alan Jackson for resurging my declining career."
Wow.
Something. Yeah. I mean, he was so humble, that I loved him.
He really was. He was an author too, wasn't he? I mean, he wrote a huge number of books. Somebody told me like 100 he had books that he has written.
Really?
Now, don't quote me on the 100. I was told that, but he is an author. He has a whole lot of books that he's written.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he knew how to market.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Got anything else, Jim?
Not right now. Greg, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? I know you play in a couple bands, Platten Creek Boys, I think, and the Ficken Harneds.
We do. The Ficken Harneds. I get a lot of questions like, why would you ever call yourself that? And basically it's because one of our band members' name is Ron Ficken. And he had a huge rock and roll following back in his day. He's almost a legend, they say. But and then me and my son Curtis Harned. So we just said, Ron, we're trying to come up with a little group name. And I said, well, why don't we just call ourselves the Ficken Harneds?
Just kind of fit.
Yeah. So there it was. But we do classic 70s pop rock. We do a lot of fun stuff, and we've been fortunate enough to have you two on stage with us several times during our appearances.
Well, we've been fortunate to be able to be on stage with you all. I love it. It helps us to get outside of the box of what we typically do.
Yes.
We love traditional country music, but we love classic rock and roll as well. So much fun to get up play with you guys and do something completely different. We
Yeah.
enjoy it.
And then we got the Platten Creek Boys, who were formed. We really formed ourselves just to help the VFW club out. The club room was declining in attendance, and my father-in-law was a musician. My son and myself, we just started going down to try to help them out. I mean, we played out, you know, professional, semi-professionally all our life, and sometimes you just have to give back.
Yeah.
And veterans, there's no better cause
No.
than helping us out a veterans club or veterans post of any kind. And Curtis Lynn Cook happened to stop by one night when we were down there, and he had a good time. He said, "I think I can come back next week if you don't mind." I went, "Well, come back." Next thing you know, we had 6-piece, the biggest little band in town. It became a lot of fun, and we got okay. And but there's a story behind that, because here we are, we're playing, and we're like, Charlie couldn't make it. We're like, we got to call in. He said, "I think we can call Colleen Gallagher. Maybe she could play bass, which you're a fine bass player."
Oh, thank you.
And and Jim said, "Hey, can I come along?" And we had never thought about it, because we were basically in an acoustic group.
Yeah.
Well, we're like, "Yeah, bring it, whatever you want." So he brought his hi-hat and a snare. Is that right, Jim?
Yeah.
So we played tonight, and it all went great. And we looked at each other when Jim left. I went, "Darn it, we got to get a drummer now."
Yeah. So I've ruined 2 acoustic bands by drums.
I had never thought of that.
Yeah.
That's right. We were an acoustic band on the '70s pop rock thing.
I know. And
Invited Jim to do a show with us, and the next thing you know, we looked at each other and said, "We got to go have Jim."
so that was the second band I ruined by.
You hardly ruined them. You spoil the band, Jim. I'll say that much.
It's a lot of fun.
But anyway, that's what we do. And Curtis, myself, and as you mentioned before, my younger brother Kevin, we're involved in a car show now, a YouTube car show. It's called Heartland Hot Rods, and we feature people talking about the car. We view the cars. We do car shows, and we're getting ready to kick off a live event ourselves. We're going to do it live from a car showroom, and we're going to see how that goes over. But we hope if you like cars, you join us. We have a great time. We're going to be loose just like you're doing here. It's going to be very relaxed on the atmosphere, and we're going to talk all things cars.
That's
So
cool.
we're looking forward to that.
You all have a fantastic program. I mean, the cars that you all have had on there, and our buddy Curtis Lynn Cook, which I saw he's out there. Hi, buddy. I'm glad to have you with us tonight.
He's in the house.
Oh,
That's
great.
right. Yes. But and Kurt is also an incredibly talented singer and songwriter, and he works with you guys. He worked with the Platten Creek Boys, and
Yeah.
we're so glad we're blessed to have you guys as very close friends of ours. You're like family to us, and we appreciate getting to hang with you, getting to play music with you, and now getting to watch the cars. It's fabulous. I love what you all do. It's very interesting to me. And I don't know a lot about cars. I really don't. But although I would like to I want one of those Bonnie and Clyde Ford cars. So,
Oh, wow. Well, you keep hanging out. They're actually going, I think they're going down on price. I think you can get those fairly reasonable. We've talked about that, and I'm not going to get off of your subject. Your subject's an awesome subject with the classic country music. But yeah, I think they're actually, those models may be going down in value. Well, do you do to the decline of people in that age group, right? I mean, we all collect things that we had when we were young, right?
That's
That's
right.
what we're drawn to. And
That's right. That's right. And Miss Angie too. And Miss Angie Cook is in the house as well. So glad that you guys are here with us tonight. I miss you guys. We're gonna have to all get together and have some dinner again soon. Something like that.
Yes.
sounds like a winner on my part.
Did I see we have Mr. Eddie Tucker here too? Eddie,
Yes, we
thanks
do.
for being here with us this evening. We appreciate you being here. It's good to see you. lots of he's another fabulous country musician, gospel musician. He's
He's a good
great singer.
songwriter.
Yeah, good songwriter, singer, and we love him very much. He's a good guy. So and Charlie plays with the Platten Creek Boys. He's a Platten Creek boy, and then I sat in and filled in for Charlie too. So now,
You
and I
did.
always laugh because I said I'm the only girl that was a Platten Creek boy. So
You've got a record.
I'm proud of
You,
that.
in the record book for that.
That's
We always say you are a Platten Creek boy.
I am a Platten Creek boy.
Oh,
And I always get a kick out of Kurt because he always said, "Oh, here, let's see here. I want to say publicly that I'm not the reason Greg now owns a classic truck."
well. Oh yeah, he is absolutely the reason. If my wife is watching, Sherry, she's watching.
I
It's
think
Kurt's fault.
I think that was directed toward her, maybe. Just to keep you out of hot water.
Well, it's pretty cool. I love those old vehicles. It's just so cool.
If you
And
haven't checked out their channel, go to Heartland Hot Rods on YouTube, and they also have a Facebook page. I think you all have a website too,
We do.
heartlandhotrods.com. So be sure
yeah,
you check all that out.
Well, we appreciate you
a lot
pushing
of
that
times
for us.
country music and car shows go together too. There are a lot of events where you have live music and you have cars out there, and I think
Yeah,
it's pretty cool to
it is.
for you
We
guys.
enjoy doing it, and we enjoy the music, and boy, we really enjoy checking you guys out when you guys are locally playing too. When we can catch you in the region,
Yeah,
you're all over between Nashville and
we appreciate it. We stay pretty
Southeast
busy.
Missouri.
We've taken a little downtime now to be get through the holidays and all that good stuff. Things with the kids and grandkids and all that stuff, and
Yep.
well, to regroup. It gives me a little time to work on the actual episodes because still the way I do it is or the way we work on it, the editing is a process, a big process. So it's time consuming, which you know that, Greg. We've talked about that. You and I have talked about how many hours we sit and go through footage and look at things and edit and all that. And it's a lot of work, you
It
know.
adds up. Yeah, I tell you what, hard on the bones. Uh, it certainly is.
A
But
lot
I
of
tell you, with your shows, one of the things I really enjoy about it is I'm getting real authentic information. You're
right.
not going after sound bites and clicks, and
No.
we see that on a lot of the channels. That's
I
the
guess
you know the title is misleading. This is misleading, and when I watch your channel, I'm getting information that I can depend on because you've researched it.
Right. Well, I appreciate that. And I do. I feel like the biggest thing is about the music and about the entertainers and how they have provided us with the music through the years, and there's a lot out there. You can take a lot of angles on it and run with it. Um, I just never I don't choose to do that. For one, I want to be able to go to Nashville and see the people that I know and love down there and be able to look them in the eye and know that I've done the best I can. Are there mistakes? Yes. There are things that happen. You do all the research you can do and still sometimes, things slip through the cracks. But I feel like at the end of the day, what we release is the closest that we can get to the truth. We're not digging at somebody's life either. You know what I mean? There are a lot, and we bring it up if there are people that we've with that or that we've done shows on that maybe excuse me had maybe had substance abuse problems or things like that. We touch on it, but that's not what it's about. That's not why we do the show. We're trying about their lives and their careers. There are some funny stories that you can't. I mean, one of the things I we want to do one on Vern Gosling, and I know in order to do one on Vern Gosling, you have to be honest, and then to be honest, there are a lot of stories about Vern Gosling. He was quite the pistol. I mean, there's just a lot out there, and I can't completely skirt around that because there was too much of it. It'd be
Well,
like
you
Joe
know,
bringing up he's drinking, you know? So,
right. Well, it's the truth of the matter, and the fact is when they've had a public display or a problem, it is part of their story.
it
You're
is.
not looking into the cracks, trying to dig up new information to drag them down. You're just
Right,
reporting what really happened.
right,
So
right.
you
And I
can't get
try to
around
walk
that.
no, I try to walk that line. It's, I don't like digging on the dark side of everybody's lives, everybody has something they're not happy with themselves. It just life, so
Yeah.
but I want, to pay tribute to those people, um, to in the music that they've given us. So I said, stay tuned. Vern's coming one of these days. Haven't even started on him at this point, but I've got some pretty decent, uh, some folks that I'm going to be talking to, some people that's worked with Vern. So I think that that's going to be really good. They've already, told me they'd talk to me. So get some
Well,
stories and get some good stories out of it. So
I'm
I think,
looking forward to it. Vern's, of course, iconic in the country music field. With his voice and his styling, and he's got such, like you said, he got such a history behind him from California to
mhm,
Nashville. Just incredible
yeah,
songwriting as well.
yeah.
And I think he's done some songwriting with a good friend of yours as
Oh
father.
yeah. Yep. Yeah. Him and Max D Barnes, they wrote a
Yeah,
lot of Burns hits
hits.
together.
They
And
did, and
that's where
incredible.
we were blessed for a couple different years. We've done Vern Gosdin tributes in August, which is his birthday month. We did it. We didn't do one this year, but we've done one a couple years before that. And we're really blessed, to get to bring in people like Johnny Rodriguez did the show with us. We had part of Vern's band.
Yeah.
Uh, Mike Baker, who played guitar for him for years, was there. Kathy Gerald, who's his background singer, her husband Buck played drums for him for a long time too.
Wow.
They're, we worked with them, great people and great talented musicians. Um, and then Linda Davis did the tribute with us.
Wow. There's a
And
voice.
yeah, there's been um, so many great people that's came in and done this with us. So, and we're hoping we'll get to do it again. I think it'll be good, but we just didn't get around to getting. It's hard to get it lined out this year. So hopefully, maybe next year we can pick back up and do that. Uh, Vern was called the voice for a reason. He was an incredible singer and a great songwriter. Um, and the work that he did with Max D and many other songwriters, he had a lot of hits and his music stands the test of time. People are still listening to Vern Gosdin. So
Oh, I can't hardly put it away. I'll stick in a CD to listen to one song, and next thing I know, I'll be listening to the whole CD, maybe twice.
yeah, yeah, that's what that his stuff is great. He was one of those you could just put it in and let play.
Yeah. And I think I saw where Jim, did I see you advertise you're going to start a new, like, reviewing albums?
Yeah, we're going to start a new thing on the channel. I'm going to start we're going to call it a classic album review, to where I'm going to do a little deep dive into albums, classic albums, like Willie Nelson, Redheaded Stranger, just classic albums that have stood the test of time. I think the first one I'm going to do is going to be on Waylon, of course. I'm a huge Waylon fan. So I'm going to review his 1975 live album, which has some interesting facts to it. So we're going to start that next year, put together
Nice.
several of those shows. So kind of give her a break from having to do all the, the vlogs and stuff. I figured I'd throw my name in the hat and help her out a little bit and add,
Sure. Well,
into the
that's a
series.
great idea for a program. I
Yeah,
mean, you look at the depth of some of those albums, it doesn't even give you a reflection of the number one hit or the top 10
right.
hit that was on it.
And I like all the backstories, kind of like what the channel's about, but
Hmm.
you know, that tell, the unknown parts, the unknown stories behind the recording of the album. Not to give too much away, but
Yeah.
for Waylon's live album, I think there was only 15 tracks originally released. I haven't done all my research yet. I'm still working on it. But the re-release included the whole concert, which was like 40 tracks. So, you know,
Wow.
yeah, it's pretty cool stuff.
40 tracks.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, Jenny said she's excited for the new series.
Yeah, I can't wait to check that out.
Yeah, it'll be good. I mean, he does the deep dives and he knows all the musicians on these things too. So that's always kind of a cool thing. He can talk about albums all day long.
Oh
He's
yeah.
got an encyclopedia of
Yeah.
musicians. I'll tell you that much. If you want to talk about it, even on it doesn't matter what genre. That's what I figured out about Jim. He acts like he can't, like he's filling in with us with the pop and the rock and roll on our Vic and Harness band, but he knows those musicians too. He'll bring up the drummer. I'll bring up a name, and he starts giving me his biography. You got a lot of knowledge about these guys.
I'm a plethora of useless information, as they say. But no, I love playing that stuff, and I love all kinds of music. I'm not crazy about rap, so I kind of stay away from that. But
Yeah. That stuff's not for everybody.
yeah,
I had to give up my rap career. I don't know, wasn't going real well.
yeah, yeah. So, Greg, who were some of your influences in country music? Growing up, what kind of turned you on to country music?
Well, I'll be honest with you. I was one of those '60s kids. Now, very young in the '60s, by the way, for you that are watching, but I was a product of the '60s. Well, my dad did participate in a lot of the little. I was born in Kentucky and raised in Kentucky and Bourbon, the bourbon capital of the world, the county, Nelson County, and I got drugged around a lot of taverns. Sometimes not, but as a kid, so I not a lot for a kid to do in a tavern, but listen to the jukebox.
Yeah,
And in Kentucky, it was a lot of country music, and that's how I got started with it. I mean, I could remember Ring of Fire, coming across. There were certain songs that just really rang a bell. But as I got older, I enjoy story songs, and
yes,
and they influenced me, and I really didn't realize how much they influenced me as a young man until I look back now at some of the songs that I've written, and that's really what they are. But like Tom T. Hall is one of my all-time favorites.
hmm
Uh, not overly complicated music and whatnot, but he could tell a story. He could write a song. I'd love to see you do a backstory on him if you get a
Oh, we
chance.
will,
Oh
we
yeah,
will.
we
Yeah,
I mean,
definitely. Yeah.
yeah, Harper Valley PTA. I mean, he's written songs that just were million sellers, that didn't
Right.
include him other than the writing.
yeah,
He's a
Yes.
fantastic. I had the opportunity to work with him. I don't know, early '80s. He came through and did a show, and we opened for him. And he was one of the kindest artists that I backed or fronted for. And he invited us back to the bus, and we sat on the bus, and he had a few Coors. That's what he liked to drink. He had a few Coors, and we visited quite a while, but he was very kind. He could have asked anybody, and he told the local dignitaries that had financed to put on the show. They were all lined up outside the bus, and he goes, "Hey, I want that band that opened up. That's who I want in here." So he took us
cool. Awesome.
in there for an
Now,
hour, and people waiting outside. It was pretty cool. Really, really kind person. Really thoughtful human
I
being.
met him a couple times, never worked with him, but had pictures taken with him, and talked to him for just a minute. And he seemed so kind. He was very kind to my sister and I. I remember being I don't even know what it was for, some event in Nashville during fanfare. But he was there. I'll have to dig a picture up because I know I have one. Um, my buddy Ron Newcomer took that picture back in, it was like, we're talking like 1976, maybe seven, something like that.
Wow, yeah.
But, uh, but he was so kind. And, and he was really instrumental in Johnny Rodriguez, getting where he was too. So my mom and dad saw, um, Tom T. Hall and Johnny Rodriguez. He was fronting shows for him at that point at the CMA Hall in Bloomsdale. And
Oh, wow.
this was right before Johnny hit. So it said it was a great show, and they kept telling us about this kid singing and playing with him and how good he was. And then, of course, Johnny Rodriguez came out with "Pass Me By," and the rest was history.
Yeah.
Uh, but Tom T. Hall, he was instrumental. Happy Shahan, who was Johnny Rodriguez's manager and mine at one point, um, he actually um, he had found Johnny in a jail, of course, the old, you know, stealing the goat story and all that good stuff.
Right.
Um, but the jailer called Happy Shahan, and Happy Shahan um, went and picked him up because the jailer said, "This kid can sing. He's a great singer." So, and then he knew Bobby Bear and Tom T. Hall came to the Alamo Village where Johnny was singing, and at that point, Tom T. Hall picked him up and took him on the road. And then they got the RCA deal for him and all that good stuff, and he hit after that. But Tom T. Hall was a big part of getting him where he was at. So
Yeah, I just love I love Tom T. Hall. I just love his music, and he was another one like Jimmy Buffett. He wrote books, and I think Tom T. mostly wrote children's books.
yeah, yeah. And his wife did some writing too.
She
I mean,
did.
there were some things they wrote together, I understood, and I didn't know that till like later. Um, but yeah, his story song, you could picture his story songs.
Yeah.
And I remember my dad, we had a Tom T. Hall album, and my dad loved the song. There was a song about servicemen being in Germany and meeting the German people while they were in a bar and a fight breaking out. It was like, and he said he could picture all this stuff because it was just like he lived when he was in Germany when he was in the
Wow.
service. So so I thought it was great because people do pay attention to those stories. So
Well, he wrote about, it was interesting. If you get a chance, if your viewers out there, if you really haven't checked out a Tom T. Hall catalog, sit down and just listen to the lyrics.
Yeah.
yeah,
He put them. He just had a unique style
hmm
of wording sentences that were. I haven't known any other writer that quite forms them like he does and
no,
Well,
tells that story like
and
he did.
no,
you don't get that nowadays. There's no story songs, being written. When you hear those story songs, it's almost like you can see the video playing along with it in the back of your mind. It just tells such a great story that you can visualize what's going on in the song as it happens.
Right.
And, we don't have too much of that nowadays.
mm-mm,
No, that would be a great topic for you guys in the future. What's your favorite
Yeah.
song that is a story? I mean, there's some
yeah,
incredibly written, of course,
That'd be really hard to
tunes.
narrow down.
It would be. That's why you should, on that one, you need to have about 10 guests, and you'll
Yeah.
probably cover 100 songs.
Yeah. We'll have,
that's
It's
have to
that
right.
do,
hard to
have to do a top 10 on
That's
that.
right. That's right.
Yeah,
And that would be tough.
yeah,
There's so many good
absolutely.
So many good songs. That's the kind of songs I love to sing to. I love those story songs.
I love
So
them.
it's one of the things I love so much about, we work with Max T. Barnes so much. And he always has a very unique way of writing songs and putting songs together. I mean, uh, back when he was really, having a lot of hits and things, I remember thinking, I would hear a song and I would hear the way it was put together and even think it's got to be one of his. And it would be.
Yeah.
or sometimes I would hear it and not know it was him and think, why didn't I know that? Like Love Me, that he and Skip Ewing wrote for Colin Ray. That is such a beautiful story. And then he turns around and something, funny that's how your love makes me feel for Diamond Rio. There's a cow in the road and you swerve to the left. I mean, it's like I thought
Where does that
only
come?
Max could come up with that. Only Max.
Incredible.
Originally he said it was there's a goat in the road, and then
Oh,
it, so
I never heard that part.
there it is. Oh, but yeah, but he always had this. He's got this way of writing that is different than anybody else, and I love his stuff. But he writes those story songs, and
I
great
love
stuff.
them.
But
And
and it
I think the difference is on genres of music is because country music is about stories, most of it.
Mhm,
I
mhm,
mean, most of it is heartbreak, or I mean, it usually starts somewhere and ends somewhere,
mhm.
as where some genres really don't. I think when you get into rock, that's what made uh, Leonard Skinner so great. Was the lyric writing.
Oh
We,
yeah,
we known for the guitars, but you take the lyrics out of those songs, and there wasn't near as much to it. It was just a
no,
good riff.
no.
Yeah.
And if you sit down and you really look at the words or listen to the words, then it's
Yeah.
like, wow,
I
that
mean,
you're right.
even if you look at Three Steps, I know most musicians are tired of playing it, but if you took all the music out and it's so crafty written.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Charlie Daniels was another one that could really write
Mhm,
a story song.
Yeah.
mhm.
So
Yeah. It's very good. It's
yeah.
I
funny
love it.
because, for years being a musician, a drummer, uh, I
Mhm.
never really listened to the lyrics of songs. I was always focused on the music and the drum parts,
Right.
and being, in with that. And then as I got older, I stopped and I started listening to the lyrics of these songs. And it's like, holy cow, there's some really great stuff out there.
Yeah. Yeah,
Well, you
you're
did
right.
a good job listening to them drum licks.
Uh,
It served you well.
I don't know. Just, I just hang on.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, I didn't, Jim's my husband, and I didn't know he didn't listen to the lyrics of songs for years.
There you go. That's what
He's
we revealed tonight. Secret
That's right.
reveal.
But
We've
then I
learned.
did, and it got to where I started like really focusing on the lyrics more so, and like Colleen would forget lyrics in the middle of a song, and she would turn
Mhm.
around to me, and I would have to spout lyrics at her, just right on the fly.
Well, and
That was
I've always said, how many drummers do you know that knows the words to the songs, usually can tell you the keys that they're in, that we do them in? That's what really cracked me up is, he would know the keys that we would do things in, but I can usually depend on him. If we're learning something new or something different, I turn around to him, and if I'm lost, he knows it as soon as I turn to him, and he starts singing it, and I'm like, how does he do that? It's crazy, but
Yeah, especially being, I mean, he's never been a professional vocalist as
no.
you have.
right.
So, but there he is. He's
Well,
nurturing. He's nursed, bringing us vocalists out. We do that all the time. That's not unusual for anybody who has played music to know. You're up there sometimes and it just goes away.
yeah.
Yeah, it's just
Uh,
gone. Yeah.
but like I said, as I got older and matured a little more, I started paying more attention to the lyrics and you know the song as a whole
Yeah.
versus you
Luckily
know
for me, yeah.
versus just the music.
Well, you two are a great couple. I will say that much, and it's always a pleasure to have both of you two ever come up to the stage and be on a stage, or to just go to where you're playing at and just
No.
watch you play because it's the very professional. It's
Well,
always
thank
professional.
you. Well, I mean, we feel the same way about you, Greg. We love you. We think you're awesome, and your son Curtis. He's an incredible guitar
A
player.
lot
You're an
more
incredible
guitar
guitar
player.
player.
Oh,
It's
not incredible, but I appreciate that. He'd be glad to know that you complimented him. I'm sure.
He's awesome.
I love Curtis.
He is
He's a great,
awesome.
yeah, he's a great player. And I remember with the Platten Creek Boys when he was, I didn't know either one of you until that.
Right?
And
No.
I was so surprised when I found out that he was a rock and roller learning how to play country guitar. So
And
it was great.
yeah, he kind of defined our little group because it really was not traditional country guitar, even at that. But he put his own. He said, "Dad, how do you want me to work up these songs?" I went, "No, no, you just play them any way you want to play them.
Well, I know
Have
he
fun."
put a lot of work into it.
Yeah, he
Oh
does.
yeah,
Oh, he studies.
Yeah,
He works hard.
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
he does.
Kurt's a great songwriter too. He's got some new stuff in the works that we've been working on. Got some stuff recorded that we need to finish. Hello,
We got to get together, don't we?
yeah. And this is
You
one.
got to get him off of those cars.
Yeah. Well, he wrote a song about a car.
He
car.
did.
So
Yeah, and
that,
that's one of them you're working on, right?
Yeah,
yeah, it
yeah,
is a story song. It is incredible. The
Yeah.
yeah.
lyrics are awesome. Now Charlie says we got him singing, so
Charlie'd be a great guest. He's a great character.
He
yeah,
would, and he's done a lot of stuff. He's been around for a while, and
He
we've been.
has.
I think I met him through David Frizzell. He was playing bass for David Frizzell. I think that's
Yeah.
where we first met Charlie, wasn't it, Jim?
yes,
Back at the Plummer Family Theater. That's been several years ago now. But we hooked up with him at that point, and actually, I think that's one about the same time we met Kurt Cook. So it's
Yeah.
just funny how things all mesh together in our friendships, and we are
It is.
very blessed to have such good friends with you all, and also good camaraderie as far as the music. We all support each other and love each other's music, and I think
you know,
that's such a cool
there's a
thing.
there's a lot of talent in this area that
Yeah.
just tremendous players and singers, and we're very blessed to have this much local talent, in this area.
Yeah.
Truly, truly
Yeah.
are. And it's funny how the circle of music goes.
Oh,
Like you said, I mean, if it hadn't been for Kurt stopping into a VFW club room, him and I had known of each other for 20 years. His bands played more up north into the hotter joints than mine did because I had a young family, very young, and I stayed local. And we had musicians that bounced back and forth between
Mhm.
us, but we'd never really sat down and really met each other until a VFW when he just happened to come in and have a drink. And then through Kurt, I have been blessed with meeting you all, meeting Charlie Collins,
Mm.
yeah,
just the whole bunch of you. It's just a huge circle of great, awesome musician friends and
yeah,
friends.
Yeah.
yeah. It's funny, if it hadn't been for music, I've met all of my best friends through
Yeah.
playing music.
It is incredible. It's a blessing. But I think you guys' show I love it. I can't wait for every episode to come across, and I'll put it on while I'm doing the housework here. uh,
Well, we
I,
appreciate
I check it out, but I let as many people know. I mean, it's classic country backstories is just an interesting subject because you're hearing the honest truth that you can gather, the most information that you can gather on these artists, and you're letting the public know about
that.
what thing might have happened in their life they didn't know about.
Yeah,
Right.
That
And that's what we try. We try to find something different, to keep from telling the same story over and over. Some things you have to say, but um, and we've been really blessed with some of the folks that we've talked to, on this channel. I always go back to Hawkshaw Hawkins Jr. Hawk is one of the kindest people you would ever want to meet. Um, he was our first interview, which I was nervous and about it, and he was just super super friendly. He gave us, a really good stories, and through that we've ended up being really good friends with him, so and we've talked about it. We're going to get him back on because he said, he said, I want to go back and do some more of this,
Yeah.
and I'm like, absolutely, because I would like to do it now that I know him. You go into it, you try to find as much interesting information, and without, I don't know, his father died before he was born, and
That's an
there
incredible story.
it is something else, but now that we know him, I think we can even get more detailed information, we
Right.
love Hawk. He's a great guy. He's a funny guy, and
It's so funny.
he's funny and he's sweet, and you can tell. I mean, I think he probably is a pretty good mix of his mama, Jean Shepherd, and his dad, Hawkshaw Hawkins. I
Wow.
just can
I
see that,
I think it's a little more his mom than Hawk.
Well, yeah, because she raised him, I guess that
Well,
would make a difference. But it's just
yeah.
funny because he would, when he did the interviews, he didn't want to say anything about his dad that would have been disrespectful to his mom. You know what I
Right.
mean? It's kind of like I think almost, and I think probably Hawkshaw Hawkins was probably a lot of fun. I think he was a barrel of fun. Probably not dangerous or, you know what I mean, anything like
Right.
that. It's kind of like he put it in the interview. Mama didn't drink, mama didn't smoke, she didn't do anything. My dad liked to stay around a while, is the way he put it. And that opens up a whole can of worms, but
Mm.
he didn't say any more than that, which I get it. He wasn't there, but the
Right.
stories that he heard, I think, but I think we would have a lot of fun going back and talking to him again. So and like I said, we have a lot of interviews we're wanting to set up. We did not get to talk to Jeannie Seeley before she passed. That was something that we worked on for 2 years, and
Wow.
it was just a situation. She wanted to do it, but at first it was performance schedule, she had a lot going on, and then her husband got sick, and she had to take care of him, and then before he passed, she started kinda going downhill, and so it just never worked out, to be, and she's really one of the last ones of that big era. There's not very many of those folks left. Bill Anderson's there, Connie Smith, from like the 60s that I would like to be able to interview and talk to. There's not a whole lot of folks left from that era. Um, but we were blessed getting to talk to Bill Anderson. He gave us a lot of information. And
Yeah. That
He
was a
so
great interview too,
it
by
was
the way.
it was
thank
funny.
you.
He was only going to give us like what 20 minutes or
I
something.
think he
And
asked how long it was going to take. And I said, well, it won't take more than an hour is what I had said. And he goes, well, typically I don't do interviews for longer than like 15 minutes.
yeah,
I said,
and
okay, well, yeah, I said, we'll do whatever you think, so when we got with him,
it was
but
over.
I think too that you don't know what you're getting into when you go into these interviews.
No.
So I think, once we got in there, I mean, I tried to make a point of letting him know I'd done my homework. I knew enough about him, and I had read his book, and I used that as a big source, for what I had done. And pretty well everything that I asked him, I already knew the answer to. So, and he knew that. So it was like at that
Right.
point, he was just open. He was great.
It ended up being over an hour.
Yeah. And
Wow.
Like he
yeah,
just kept
yeah.
going and
And
going.
then he was like, well, do you want to have
Wow.
pictures taken? Would you like to have a picture? And I mean, he was just great. He was
Yeah,
great.
Yeah.
So,
Now
and I'm
there's
so
a legend. That,
yes.
I mean, that's an incredible show,
Yeah.
and I hope everybody that can catch this video will watch that because it's incredible, and that he's such a historic part of country music.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And he's had a life. I mean, his life is something else. I mean, good. I mean, but he's had his ups and downs in his life, and he's gone from being successful to having nothing, losing it all, and then coming back from that. He's had his ups and downs, and he's pretty open with that. So I was really, really thrilled to just sit and listen to it. I didn't have to ask him a whole lot. He could tell us all kind of, all kind of stories.
Yeah.
Uh, and and he helped us a lot, like with Roger Miller. I still want to do on him, but they were really, really close friends, and I knew that from reading the book. Before then, I didn't. And then when we went in to do the interview, um, they took us in a writing room, and we sat down at a table, and I look up, and the big old picture of Roger Miller sitting there. And I think he chose that room for us to sit in, and I guess that's where he writes, because he had been in there earlier that day writing, with Red Akins and somebody else. He had
Wow,
written.
that's incredible
He
that
still
he is.
goes downtown. He still writes all the time. He's still
That's
writing
incredible.
and still writing good stuff, things that are being released. So,
Right.
um, I don't know. I don't know that I could ever get any bigger than that one. I mean, he was the big bucket list. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Um, but
No,
we
you
were,
you hit the top
well,
in country music right
well,
there.
there's still so much out there, that we want to do, and that we have planned. It's just, it takes time. Of course, we make the trips down there. We can do these kind of things, like the StreamYard Zoom kind of things, and do interviews that way. So, and that helps a lot. Um, we've got a couple of them that we're working on right now. We got to figure. Um, I have not done a telephone interview yet, with just with not doing a Zoom. So we have a couple of them that we're trying to set up, because that's what it's going to be. It won't be like a Zoom kind of call.
Wow.
So trying to get that done, and we're kind of looking forward to that. But there's just all kind of stuff coming down the pike. We just keep moving, and you know what it's like with your show. You're
Oh,
always
hey, I do.
planning ahead. You're always having to think ahead of what's going to be the next step. You know.
And as little as most people would believe it, there's a ton of pre-production to be done
Oh, yeah.
before even live. I mean, it
Yes.
seems like you just jump on, but you
No,
don't really just jump on.
no.
No.
So there's a lot of work in that. You guys are putting a ton of work in, and then on your actual trips where you go and interview, I mean, it takes a commitment. And with your
Well,
active lives and your active musical lives, you've
yeah,
got studio going on, you've got live shows you're still doing. Uh,
yeah.
I don't know how you find time to do it, to be honest with you.
Plus, we still work for a living, which
Yeah,
stinks.
I have
yeah,
lousy work.
yeah,
We're going to fix that in a couple years, and then we're going to really hunker down and, you know,
that's
jump
what
on
we're gonna
this
do.
thing.
Well, you posted that you showed this before. We're gonna pop that up there. Kurt says Joe Stampley's ready. He's one of them that he actually got a hold of us a few weeks ago, and I was really sick. He was like, "Well, can you do it like at 5 o'clock tonight?" And I'm like, "I can't. I couldn't hardly talk." So I'm like, "Darn!" But yeah, he's one of them. We got to figure out. We're gonna do a phone
Phone,
recording with him, or phone interview.
phone interview.
Do it that way. 'Cause
There's
yeah.
apps you can get, to record phone
Now,
conversations. So
is Joe out of Tennessee or Texas or
He's in Louisiana, I think. I think he
really?
lives. I don't think he ever moved away from Louisiana.
Wow.
So, but he is the epitome of cool. I mean, he's
Yeah.
just a neat guy, and so anxious to get to talk to him.
he likes
Uh,
to talk.
he likes to talk, yeah. And
It,
his son Tony Stampley, we've met him
He
and
really
interviewed.
likes to talk.
He really likes to talk. He's a big songwriter in Nashville, and he's a go getter. So, but I am anxious for that, to see that. So
well,
I
I'm
want
looking
to.
forward to your shows, your upcoming shows, and I encourage everyone to participate in them. I mean, people don't really realize how easy it is on these lives to jump on and comment, say hello, and let you
Yeah,
Oh
know
yeah,
what they
and
like.
that's what we want.
yeah.
That's what we want. We
That's
want
we
we
want
want people
feed,
to tell us, what do you want to see. We'll do
we
what we
want feedback.
can. Absolutely, yeah,
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 that's
yeah,
and like for the classic album things, I put a thing out there. What's something y'all want to hear? I got
yeah.
5 or 6 in mind that I got to get started on, but you know,
Yeah.
whatever they want to hear, that's what we'll do.
yeah.
I
So
want to
Well,
put this up here real quick. That my daughter, Miss Jenny, she said, proud of all the work y'all are putting into your channels. Which we're thank you. That means a lot. I tell you, Jenny she's my runner. When Jim, for whatever reason, if he can't go with me, Jenny goes with me, and she hangs in there like a hair in a biscuit. She goes with me and helps me do stuff. So she's been with me for a lot of stuff. She's gotten to know Hawkshaw as well, and gotten to see a few things, and she's always said, if he can't go, I'll go. I'll help you anytime. And so she's made several trips to Nashville with us, and we'll do more in the future. But real proud of her, and she's a very creative person. She's a little more shy. She's a great singer, but
Really? I'm not
yeah,
shocked. I shouldn't be shocked. I
she's
mean,
a
she's
great
from a
singer. I mean,
musical
got
family.
her own thing, and that's what I told her. I think she worries a little bit about being compared to what I do, and I said, you do your own thing.
That's right.
That's what makes it special is doing what you feel and what you love, and I have all the faith in her that she could do anything she sets her mind to. She's very talented. She's very artistic. She makes jewelry. She writes. She's an incredible writer, like article writer. I think she could probably be an incredible songwriter if she wanted to do that. But I think, I think she could be a book writer. I think she
Wow.
could be a big journalist. I have all the faith in the world in her because she is just really good with words, and it's one thing I can't really like claim to that. I I think I'm pretty decent at picking a good song, but writing one would be probably a whole different ball game. I'm not writing's not really my thing. Um, but she's an incredible writer and very intelligent young woman. So very proud of my kid. Can you tell? I have to
Well,
brag on her a little bit, but
I don't blame you.
well, I tell you what, we've been on here for an
Right.
hour and
Well,
10 minutes. You
yeah.
Oh,
got
we went over my contract, guys. We're gonna
we
have to talk after the show.
I was going to say we
gotta,
have to negotiate our
gotta
contract.
have some
I'll have to pay you more money.
gotta have some negotiations on this. Yeah. No, it's like we're gonna have to pay you more money for being
Oh,
on
is
here.
that how it works? That ain't what she said before. She told me she would put me on for a bargain price if I didn't let you know about it, Jim.
Oh, so this was a under the table type thing, huh? So
Shh.
yeah,
Cash.
cash. Yeah. Before you get off of here, do you want to talk about our Nashville trip coming up in March?
Oh, yes, we do. I do wanna do that. We are going to be in Nashville on March the 4th through the 10th of 2026. Our friend Ryan Turner and our buddy Max T. Barnes is bringing a tour over from Ireland and from Europe, and they're going to come spend a week. Um, it is going to be such an exciting uh, week that they're going to come over. They're going to travel all over Nashville. I think it says here that I haven't looked at the ad itself, but I know they're going to see the General Jackson, the Time Jumpers, the Nashville Palace, Country Music Hall of Fame. It says Music City Playboys. That's my our buddy Damon. And a live show featuring Max T. Barnes, Ryan Turner, and us. We're going to be on that show too. So, but we're going to go down there and spend a week, and we're going to have a ball with all the folks from Ireland. We're hoping all of our friends that we met while we were over there will come and come and join us and come see us for a week. Um, I don't think they have, but a couple tickets left.
Yeah.
So it's really, I think it's going to be a really good tour. It's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of fun.
There's
And
only 2 seats available. That's what
Wow.
Ryan had posted. I don't know how many they sold. I think they had like 50 to begin with, is what they were
yeah,
selling.
I
So
think, yeah, because they wanted to keep it where it was small enough that it was going to be intimate. They could get people in and out of everywhere that they're going to be going. Um, the Irish folks are just fantastic. We've been there twice with Max, and they love country music, and we love them. And we love getting to visit with them. We had such a ball we were over there. So I'm so looking forward to them coming over, and we're going to show them a good time, show them what we do in Nashville, and show them all the special places that are in town. So, if you are in Europe, over in England or in Ireland, there's still a couple of seats left. Make sure that you get in there, uh, get in there now, because I'm sure those tickets are going to go fast. They have been going fast. So, looking forward to a sold out tour. So
Nice.
it's gonna be a blast. So we're looking forward to that. So the 4th through the 10th, we're gonna be in Nashville celebrating with our Irish friends. So
All right. Well,
it's
there'll
gonna
be
be
no alcohol. We know that. The
no,
Irish are involved, right?
No,
no,
no.
no, just fresh spring water.
Yeah.
So do you have anything else, Jim?
No, I think I'm good.
Want to remind everybody one more time, go to Heartland Hot Rods on YouTube and check out this channel. If you like cars, this is the place to go. They've got some really great videos. Stay tuned for the live. I'm anxious to see that. That's going to be so much fun. Have you set a date for that yet?
Well,
You guys
we did, but we've already passed that date. But
okay.
we're working it up. We had a couple little snags. We've got a couple technical issues that we've
Yes.
got to get corrected before we kick up, because we have a location. It's going to be a pretty cool show. I think you guys are going to be a guest, I hope, at some point.
Well,
Can we get you up?
I don't have a fancy old car, but we'd probably be there to watch. Maybe one of these days I'll get my Bonnie and Clyde car. So
Oh yeah. Well, we'll start looking. Curtis and I'll keep looking for that. We'll
there
start
you go.
putting feelers out.
Don't
I
say.
don't start that low.
Uh-oh. We
Uh-oh.
lost Greg.
Uh-oh. He popped off. That's all right.
That's funny.
But
We're not.
no, get on,
Yeah.
go to heartlandhotrods.com
Yeah.
and see what they're up to. They also have the Facebook, they have the YouTube channel, they have a lot of really great content, and hopefully you can take this cold weather time to watch episodes of Heartland Hot Rods. That'd be a
Uh,
good.
I
Yes.
appreciate it, guys. I got to apologize for that. I didn't put my phone on airplane mode, so the little lady was checking in with me.
Oh, has she
That's
been
what
watching?
happened. It wasn't on your end, so great technical. I'd like to give my hats off to the producer tonight. Jimmy's done a wonderful job, and Colleen. Thank you
We
guys
Well,
so
thank
much.
thank you for being on with us. We sure do appreciate it, and I knew that you would be an awesome one to talk to about country music and all kind of music. So
we're
we appreciate you guys. We love y'all so much.
we're gonna we're gonna get Brother Charlie on here again.
Yes,
Or
Charlie,
yeah,
we love you.
get Kurt on here again. We'll just we'll have a good time.
We need to do that. That'd be fun. Get a
I,
big old
te-
group.
I tell you what, we'll do that. Jim's going to be up for help us out a little bit with our channel. He's going to help us with a little producing.
Yeah.
Maybe we can do that, a little segment of a live, combine the two, do one, and you guys can, and we'll all, be easy for everybody to be there that way.
Yeah.
Oh, yep, that sounds good. Well, we thank you so much for being with us tonight, and
Yeah.
appreciate everybody out there that's watched tonight, and tell all your friends about classic country backstories. Like I said, we got new episodes coming out about every 3 weeks. So, just finishing up one that's going to come out. We just dropped one on Friday. So go see what we've got going on. There are a lot of episodes. I think I've got like 20 or so now out. So go back and watch the old ones, and tell us what you think. Send us a message, comment. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. It's real important if you do that.
Yes.
And we do appreciate y'all, and we'll see you all next time. So until the next time, take care and God bless, and we'll see you later. Okay.
Don't sign off, Greg.
Okay, I'm going to hang out.